We recorded a live Michael Sweet solo acoustic show in Fall River, Massachusetts, to show people what I do on my own acoustically. You know, it's a real bare bones setting, the complete opposite of Stryper and what Stryper does. And it takes people on a different journey, you know, and gives them a different perspective of every song. It's really stripped down. So it kind of showcases the lyric and the melody, obviously more than the production and the music. Right. So hey man, you're walking around with a camera. What are you doing? This is for the History Channel because I'm so old. My drum box broke. I don't know what happened. I think I dropped it downstairs. I was rushing around and I dropped it. And when I dropped it, I thought, uh-oh. And sure enough, it didn't work. Stinks. Oh well. That just means I won't be using that tonight. Not a big deal. But, you know, it worked out for the best because sometimes there's something to be said for less is more. And sometimes those things hinder myself. I'm not an Ed Sheeran. He's got the looping thing down and hitting all these things and creating loops and whatnot. I'm more of a just go out there and strum and play kind of guy. So I think people are going to be in here like in 45 minutes. And we're in Fall River, Mass at the Narrow Center. It's pretty cool. Really, really great place. I like it a lot. A lot of history here. My son and grandkids were there, and he rarely gets to make it to a show. So he was right around the corner, and he was able to make it. It was great to see him, and a lot of people, man. It was a really cool night. I enjoyed it. I was nervous. I always get nervous. Been performing since I was 12. I still get nervous, though. I always have. And, you know, I've heard that that's not such a bad thing. I've heard if you don't get nervous, you should be concerned, because it means you don't necessarily care as much. I care. I'm a perfectionist, so I start thinking about all the things that could go wrong and become imperfections, and that's what makes me nervous. My shirt, you could wring it out after the show. I was sweating, man. Hopefully nobody saw me sweating, but I was. Well, I was just kind of torn, you know, thinking about what I should do and if I should just do a standard, sporadic, like all over the map kind of set list, which is what I usually do, versus a chronological approach, and that's what I chose to do. And I guess I'm going to talk about each song and the era and, you know, time frame and, you know, history behind it without talking too much. That's the tough part because I like to talk a lot. So I got to try to keep it short and sweet. And if I can do that, it's going to be great. We don't want to bore people with a 3-hour DVD.
Today, here right beside me. I'm losing my way, feel like I'm dying, but I wanna live. I begin to flood, and I am grounded. The rain begins to dry, only to be pounded. So I need to know if your love is away. It's all in another place, and I'm lost without a trace.
I love what I do. What I take out from it the most, and that's most special to me, is just looking out at people and seeing the reaction to the message and the stories. And you know, you can sense and feel that maybe it's inspiring them or making them smile or giving them some hope or encouragement. And that to me is the best part of the night. The music's just kind of the icing on the cake, but the cake is touching people and affecting people in a positive light. That's what does it for me. Hey. How's everyone doing? Good? All right. So I found this out on the streets when I got here. Put it on. It just so happens to say MS on it. It's kind of cool. Thought I'd wear it. Anyway, thank you guys for coming tonight. Pleasure to see all of you here. It's really, really incredible, you know, to be here so many years later and
to be able to spend an evening with all of you guys. And you guys continue to support what I do, what we do, and it just always blows my mind. It's amazing. So God bless you. Thanks for coming out. I hope you have a good time tonight. Let's hear it for the Mass Boys. Sir Lewis and Gene, wherever you guys are, you're here somewhere. I think this hat's going to make me hotter, actually. Anyway, I'm going to be doing a chronological thing tonight, a little bit of a storyteller event. We are shooting, or we're not really filming. There's no film involved, so I guess shooting is the proper terminology. We are going to be releasing a DVD of this night. So, hey, Ethan, wow, dude, what are you doing? Ethan's here. Oh, man, now I'm really nervous. He's going to be watching every note that I miss. Mr. Ethan Brosh right here, you guys. Is it Brosh or Brosh? Brosh. See what an idiot I am? Anyway, so I just want to tell you guys a chronological order. I'm going to be giving a little bit of a story before each song. So, how many people here, I'm curious, had been there from the very beginning, all the way back? Really? Wow, crazy. Let me see the hands, because I can't see you. Let's see. All right, there we go. Now I can see that. So you're talking about going back to 83 into 84, which is when we began. Yes. This guy over here says that very proudly, the fact that he is old. That's all right. We're all getting older. It's a good thing. It's all here and here, right? How you look at it. A little here, physical, but most of it is mind and heart. So going all the way back to 83, we were a band from Orange County, California. And yes, we were called Rock's Regime. And it was originally just Oz, my brother, and myself. This is just before Stryper. Oz, my brother, and myself. We went to high school together. And I was a kid, one of 4 white kids in a predominantly gangbanger school. And I somehow managed to work it out and get along. I remember walking down the halls and seeing my friends get jumped, and I would just go take a turn. I'd go down a different pathway. But it was crazy. It was some crazy times, and I lived it. I grew up on stuff. That's how I was introduced to bands like Earth, Wind, and Fire. I used to hear that blasting out of the ghetto blasters, on the Cholo's shoulders, man. They'd be listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire, and I used to dig it. I loved it. So I bought Earth, Wind, and Fire albums, and I was not influenced by Earth, Wind, and Fire, but certainly impressed, musically speaking. And Oz, and if you don't know the story, I'll tell it very briefly. Basically, Oz was a junior, I was a freshman, my brother was a senior. And I used to walk home down Washington Boulevard. It was a pretty good walk. My buddy Greg Romeyer and myself, it was about a 3 to 4 mile walk, and we used to bum rides off of Oz. Okay, he had long hair, he was a cool looking rock dude. So we got the nerve to go ask Oz to give us rides home, and we knew he was heading that way. So we went up and we asked him, and he said, well, I'll take you to my dad's upholstery shop, and that's it. You guys have to go home from there. You have to walk from there. So he took us to his dad's upholstery shop, and on that way, that 2 mile ride, we would listen to Scorpions, UFO, Judas Priest, and it was just crazy, man. It was an incredible time in my life, in Oz's life for that matter, and it really helped to bond us musically and secure what was to be not long from that point in time. So just a little preempt to what was coming. We got together, Oz, Rob, and myself, and this is one of the first songs that came of our gathering, so to speak. I'm going to lose my gum, and I'm going to try it. Let's try it.
Some people think they're happy
So that was 1984. That came out on an album called Yellow and Black Attack. Yes. It was a time, a really special time in music, at least in my heart and mind, and it was all about incredible guitar players and really good singers. You know, not that it's not now. There's some great singers and great guitar players now, but it was just something special about that era in the 80s where it was just one guitar player after another and one singer after another. Ridiculous talent, incredible times, incredible songs, sung and played so well. So it was very special for me. I was just a kid in a candy store, you know, going, wow, who's this, who's that, who's this, who's that? Blew my mind. Randy Rhoads came on the scene, blew everybody's mind. Eddie Van Halen, of course, before Randy. Well, roughly similar time, but you know, just incredible time. So next, we're gonna fast forward just a little bit to the next time in Stage and Stryper. You know, Tim joined the band, and it became the four of us, obviously. And we went out, we played, we did the Yellow and Black Attack, and we performed a lot. And we were really young. You know, I was 20 years old, just a kid. Most of you guys are 20 here tonight, right? Yeah, a few 20. Lewis, I know you're, what, 21, 22? Pushing 23, maybe? So just kids, man, kids. Wide-eyed and bushy-tailed kids, you know, just excited about the future. And we were playing music and doing what we love to do. And it was incredible. And we went on to meet with Michael Wagner, who had produced many, many bands that we were impressed with. His production skills were incredible. And he came and saw us at Knott's Berry Farm. And I remember we performed and we went in a room and we met with them, and it was just this really incredibly nerve-wracking experience. He was a sweetheart, but you know, it was this big producer we're meeting with, and we got a shot at working with a real producer. So we sat down and he just grinned ear to ear. He didn't say a lot. You know, he spoke, he had a really thick, heavy German accent, and he sat there smiling and smiling. And then he finally spoke and said, I want to work with you guys. And we went in not long after that to Amigos Studio, and we recorded Soldiers in the Command. pick, I can't give it to you. That's my only pick. I'll give you one after the show.
All right, cool.
Fine, okay, fine. Hey, Knox, buddy, how you doing? Hi. Come here. Come up here really quick. Guys, this is my grandson, Knox, right here. And Mikey's here somewhere. He's back there. Mike's back with Nora. He's got 2 little ones here tonight with him. And Mom is working, so he's got his hands full, definitely. But Knox is like a little Mikey. He's got a striper jacket here. Mikey used to wear that jacket when he was a little kid, and Knox has it here. You'll see him in it later if he sticks around. Knox, how you doing, buddy? You guys want to know what he calls me? He tried to call me Grandpa, and instead my name is Grumpy, okay? That's what Knox calls me, Grumpy. Yes. So I didn't give you a quick brief story about that last song. Obviously, it speaks for itself. That was Honestly, and that was off of To Hell with the Devil album, which of course followed Soldiers Under Command. Soldiers Under Command came out in 1985. To Hell with the Devil came out in 1986. Okay, and that was the album that really took Stryper to new heights, new places. It was pretty incredible. You know, we were out not even thinking about it really, just performing and loving and savoring every single moment and every minute. And the next thing we know, you know, we released, I think the first song and video was Calling on You. And that was really, you know, very well received. People really liked that. They like to see 4 grown men dressed like women, singing like women, apparently. And then after that song, Calling on You, we had a few other songs. I think intermixed. I think To Hell with the Devil came out at some point, but Free was the next video and the next single. And, you know, that did its own thing. It was crazy. But the song that followed, the third song on that album, was the one I just played, a different version of it, of course. But it was crazy because that one song alone took us, you know, basically, it felt like overnight. It wasn't overnight. It was probably a 6, 7, 8 month period, but basically from theaters into arenas. And we really didn't know what to think of the whole thing. It was just mind-blowing, really. You know, so it shows you the power of a song. And it's just crazy, man. It just so happens that we were a hard rock / metal band, and the song that really broke us was a ballad, the infamous power ballad, right? Gene, what do you think of power ballads, bro?
Yeah, I love them.
You love them?
Yeah.
What's one of your favorites, dude?
The one you produced, Chance to Love, Call It Your Name.
Dude.
Back in '88.
Really? Seriously?
I
Wow,
let you-
that's a great song.
I let you play the solo, Chance to Love.
I know, that's why it sounds like Stryper. That one solo, right? For a minute, it's like, oh, that's Stryper. Oh, no, it's not.
Let me see, we use your amps, guitars, the same studio, same engineer, whatever. I mean, duh.
I know. No, you know what? That's one of my. I'm not just saying this because you're here. It's one of my favorite albums from that period. Yeah, seriously. I think it's a great album. So anyway, guys, look, I'm one of those guys. I could talk. I like just hanging with you folks. I could sit here, forget playing. You know, I like to just chill and hang out with you guys and talk. Sing a song? Yeah, Lisa. It's funny, here my wife says sing a song. At home she says, please stop singing. Here we go, let's try this one. Love can be so cold. Oh, it gets so man. Dude, that's awesome. Well, congratulations to you guys. That's really cool. Now, every song in the wedding is a Striper song, right? That's okay. That's all right. You know, my wife Lisa, I'll tell a little story here. When we met, she knew who we were, but she was never a big fan. So it's okay. Well, she says thanks. She's ducking her hand. But you know what's awesome about it, hon? She's a big fan now. She's our biggest fan now. But what's really cool is that it keeps you humble. It really does. You know? So I think it's awesome. Hon, you like us now, though, right? A little bit?
If you have bookends, it's Calling on You and Always There for You. They're in the same shed. In God We Trust was our follow-up album to To Hell with the Devil, and it's very similar in the flow, the style of songs, and Always There for You is the Calling on You of that album. I've always liked that song. I'm a big Beatles fan. I love the Beatles. So you can kind of hear in the melody and the harmony progression of Calling on You and Always There for You, you can hear little flavors of that. Of those Beatle-esque harmonies, and the going down and the climbing ups and the stacking and the major to minor chords and whatnot. I love that style of writing. I love that style of song. It's kind of a combination of the way Stryper did them, of metal and pop, melody and edge, and it combines the two. And not a lot of metal bands from that era did that. It was either like or a power ballad. Not much in between. Those are the in-between songs. So it's one of my favorites, Always There for You. You know, All for One is my favorite song from Against the Law. And the reason why is because I wasn't a big fan of the transition that we made during Against the Law. I was willing to go along with it, and I participated. I wrote most of the songs on that album, and you know, I was involved in that transformation and changing everything. We changed our colors, we changed our sound, we changed our look. But when I listen to that album, as good of an album as it is, it's not classic Stryper, in my opinion. It sounds more like Van Halen, more of a bar band, kind of jam band. All for One, though, is the closest thing to classic Stryper on that album, in my opinion. That sounds like a song that could have fit on Tell with the Devil or Soldiers Under Command. It's got a little bit more of that classic Stryper sound. So that's why it's probably my favorite song on that album, and it just so happens to really work well acoustically as well. Because it's got those really cool riffs in the beginning and the end, you know, and it just works. And I love playing that song, and it's a powerful message for today, the time that we live in now. Coming together, you know, all for one, one for all, you know, and we're so divided right now, as a not just the country, but as a world, and it's sad to see. And I think that it's important as an artist and a musician to try to encourage people to come together more, and respect one another and love one another, and put aside our differences. We're always going to have them. Religion, politics, all this stuff that separates us. But man, we don't have to hate each other because of it. I see that on social media so often, man, on a day-to-day basis, where there's just so much hate out there and negativity. And you know, if someone says, hey, I like so-and-so, everyone else attacks them for it. Well, we're not all the same, you know? We all like different flavors and different things in life, and that's okay. But man, I think social media, I'll go as far as to say that it wouldn't bother me any if it went down tomorrow. It really wouldn't. I think it's a big crutch in our society, man. I mean, I think about my grandkids, you know, growing up, and the life they're going to be living in 10, 15 years, and it's scary, you know, the pressure they're going to be faced with, you know, from whatever's going to be happening at that point in time. What's the next step? Where are we going from Facebook and Twitter? And man, I miss the good old days, the simple days, you know?
Come on up here, you guys, real quick. Both you two. Don't be shy. Come on, really quick. What's up, brother? Our biggest fan right here. How are you, kiddo? What's going on? I like it. Come here, here. Here. Say a quick hello. Okay, she didn't want to say. All right, that's okay. Well, you guys say a quick hello, please. All right. I like your hat, and I like your shirt, and I like your pants, and I'm glad you made it out here. You guys came from Madison, Wisconsin. We flew all the way out here. God bless you guys. Love you, man. Dude, of course. Didn't mean to put you on the spot. I had to bring you up. So awesome. She doing better? How's her stomach, man?
Awesome. Thank
Good.
you for asking. Good.
A lot of people praying for her, man. It's awesome. You're my life in salvation. You're the strength in me. You're my inspiration. You're the light that shines on me. Though I cannot see you, I know I've always felt you, so I will follow you and believe. I will follow to someday. In times of desperation, I'm going to cling to you. I find hope and protection, the love that I found in you. Though I cannot see you, I know I'll always feel you. I will follow you and believe. I will follow you and believe. Someday I know you're coming back for me, for the one who loves you. Someday I know my heart and soul will be free from the pain they hold on to. I'm holding on to someday when you take me away to another place. I'll be with you forever, living in your Someday I know you're coming back for me, for the one who loves you. Someday I know my heart and soul will be free from this pain they hold on to. I'm holding on to someday. Sing this with me. Let me hear your voices. Come on.
When I left the band in 1992, Stryper, I took a little time off from 92 to 93, and then I really jumped back into songwriting.
How's everybody doing?
It's really good to be back. Thank you.
How many of you remember the group back in the 80s? Why? And all I can tell you is
I'm out for now. I may be in later. We may be doing a reunion tour. Who knows? I'm here with these guys. I'm here with these guys. God's put us together to go out and win people over to Jesus Christ. That's what we're gonna do.
I love Stryper 1992. I just felt like I was supposed to leave. You know, when you come to those crossroads in life and you just know you're supposed to do something or you're not supposed to do something, we all experience it in our lives. And I just knew, as hard as it was and as tough as it was and brutal as it was, that I was supposed to go. So I went. I left in 1992. And the guys went out and, you know, they did some shows. And I think Dale Thompson from Bride was in the band for a brief period of time. And they did a few shows with him. But I just wanted to kind of clear my mind, clear my heart, clear my head. And eventually I knew that I would be pursuing some other musical adventures along the way. And I did just that. And in 1994 I signed a deal and I recorded an album. And that song that I just did was on that album. It was a real original title. It was called Michael Sweet. So that's the song Someday. It was on that album. In 94 it came out. It did really well. Strictly released to the Christian market. And man, people really liked it. It was more that arena rock kind of thing, you know? Ethan, not your kind of a record, I don't think.
Signed a deal with Benson, released the first solo album in 94, and then started work on Real and released that. That came out in 95. Real is my favorite track off of that album, off of the album Real. And it did get lost in between the cracks, sadly, for a number of reasons. I think because it was so different. It wasn't a rock record. And also at the time when that came out, the label, Benson Records, they were closing their doors. Not long after that record was released, they were no more. So that instantly killed that album. Over. Same thing happened with Truth in 2001 on Restless Records. That album came out, they closed their doors as a label. I don't know what it is, and some might wonder, and I wonder myself, it seems to happen a lot with me. I hope we're not the ones bringing that to them. But anyway, so Real is one of my favorite tunes. I've always been a fan of U2, and it's got a little bit of that kind of a style to it. It's a little different for me. The guitar works a little bit more in that The Edge kind of vibe. And it's a great song to play acoustically, man. It works beautifully. The reason why I don't play it as often as I should or could is because I have trouble remembering those lyrics, man. There's a lot to the lyrics. And I don't like working off of lyric sheets, but I do, you know. So as I get older, you know, I have more trouble remembering lyrics. We moved from California to Massachusetts in '95. And then from that time, that's when I just kind of took a hiatus. I put everything in a closet in the basement because I had difficulty hooking up with the right people. And I kept being told no, 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 or you're too old, or literally I heard it all. And I just thought, wow, okay, maybe I'm not supposed to do music for a while. So I didn't. And I wound up going to work for the family business, which was a campground / cranberry bog business. And I did that from 96 to 1999. And while I was doing that, I wrote a lot of songs, man. I wrote all the songs for Truth. But that was birthed from literally blood, sweat, and tears. It really was. Cutting my hands in the bogs and bleeding, sweating in the bogs, and crying in the bogs. I mean, wondering, what am I doing here? I'm not doing music. That's what I feel my calling is, but here I am corralling cranberries.
Barely with one foot on the ground, balance is lost, it can't be bound. Minds are demanding. There was a time when mine was sound. It used to be free, but now it's bound. Can you stop me from myself?
It's a very heavy song, not just in the musical sense, but there's just something when you hear the lyric and the melody and the dun 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 dun. There's just something about it that makes you go, "Wow, what's this?" But it's funny, a funny little story about that song, and it's the truth. I'm not trying to get a laugh out of anybody. We used to have a cat by the name of Gumbo, a black cat, who, whenever Gumbo would walk into the room, I would hum that melody. Dun 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 dun, you know, because he was scary looking, you know, and he'd come walking in, and everybody would laugh, the kids would laugh and stuff, and then next day he'd come in, dun dun dun. Well, I turned that melody into a song, and it wound up being "Save Me." And it's one of the coolest songs that I've ever recorded, actually. So, but that was based on Gumbo, the cat. I wound up being inspired by a few people to go back into the studio again. Had a New Year's Eve get-together at some friend's house, and we were playing songs on the piano, and they were musicians, and they inspired me to hook up with a guy by the name of Kenny Lewis, who is now one of my best friends. We've done a lot together. He mixed Striper for years, front of house. He's got a studio. We've worked on albums together, co-produced stuff, you know. Amazing guy, amazing talent. And he wound up having me come up to his house and basically recorded the first version of Truth and didn't charge me anything, you know. Just wanted to be a part of it, and we worked on that together.
We're gonna do a few solo songs off of a new record that I have coming out. I don't know when it's coming out, but it's coming out soon.
And I released it on my own. It did incredibly well, and then it wound up opening the door for me to sign a deal and do the second version of Truth with Restless Records. And that's when it all started taking off again. Ever since, from 2000 to now, 17 years ago, I've been doing music.
We all need something. We all need something more. We all.
I felt like I've been driving 75 miles an hour ever since that point in time. And, you know, here I am, 54 years old now, and I'm ready for more, man. I got the new Sweet Lynch album coming out. We started on a new Striper album coming up. I start recording, nobody knows this, but another solo album beginning of next year, which is crazy. And then I'm gonna do an album with Joel Hoekstra, and the Lord only knows what's gonna be planned over the next 10 years. I'm hoping another at least 10 albums. And then I'm going away, man. I'm moving to Mexico. Nobody's ever going to hear from me again in 10 years.
So I had before this next song, I had the pleasure of being a member for a brief period, a little bleep on the radar, but it was still pretty darn cool, of the band Boston. Yes, sir, man. This dude knows more about the history than I do right here. Anyway, so I got to play, what happened was Brad Delp was one of my favorite singers. Always has been. The Boston album, I heard it when I was 13 years old, and it really inspired me to, as a guitar player, to go out and try to improve my playing and my tone, because I just couldn't believe how that record sounded. The production was just insane. And then the singing blew my mind. So Brad instantly became one of my favorite singers and still is to this day and always will be. And when he tragically passed, I wrote something about Brad and what he meant to me. And Kim Schultz reached out to management, and management reached out to me. And I was invited to perform what was supposed to be the last ever Boston show. It was in Boston, of course. And that was in 2007. Was anybody there? A few people? All right. And it was incredible. And I was one of the few guys I was asked, along with Sammy Hagar was supposed to be there, and Ann Wilson and Mickey Thomas, a lot of really talented people. And some of them wound up not being able to be there for whatever reason. And I wound up, I guess it was kind of good for me, because I went from just singing Higher Power to singing Peace of Mind and Rock and Roll Band. And when I found that out, I got a call saying, hey, they want you to sing more. You know, it was one of those moments where, you know, I almost had to go change my underwear, you know. It was pretty nerve-wracking, you know, because it's like, okay, wait a second here, hold on. It's hitting me now. I got to go sing in front of a big crowd Boston songs. And after the world lost Brad Delp, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you know. And so I started feeling the pressure. But the more I realized that it was just a celebration of Brad's life, the better it was. So, long story short, I wound up going and performing. And after the show that night, Tom came back and said, hey, we really loved how things sounded. We want you to join the band. And I went out and toured with them in 2008. Styx in Boston. It was crazy. And one of the funniest things I remember about that tour, briefly, is I look back at some videos. You guys might want to go on YouTube and take a look at some of the videos. Because when I performed with them for the first time, I was going crazy, running all over the stage. And they were all just standing in place. You know, they were kind of rocking in place like this, and I'm like running all over the place. And I just remember every time I'd run by Tom would go, you know, he'd smile and his eyes would get really big. And I just recall thinking, gosh, I hope I'm not overstepping my boundaries here, you know. So I went up to Tom, I said, hey, buddy, am I moving too much? And he said, oh, no, I love it, please do more. So I did more, I started moving more. And if you look up, I moved so much. In Puerto Rico, if you look up the video, you'll see me moving so much that I actually took a fall. So you'll get a kick out of that. Look that up. I tried to jump on one of those ego boxes, you know, and I just tumbled right over. So I was in Boston. I got to do that, and then after that, I did some other things, solo stuff, more Striper stuff. Been doing a lot of recording and touring. It's just been crazy. And I look back on the last 10 years, and I can't believe how much we've done. And, you know, what God's done with the band and in the band and through the band. It's crazy. So, you know, there's no sign of stopping. I think we've done more now than the first time around, from 83 to 92. So we're going to just keep going and see what we can do until we can't do it anymore, you know? Yes, awesome. I personally, at this very moment, before all of you, I personally don't want to be 75 years old running around on stage, okay? I'll tell you that much. I'd rather just be chilling, you know, fishing, golfing. But anyway, let's try this one. This was a song that came out on an album called I'm Not Your Suicide.
They say that time can heal the pain, the scars. Forget, that only goes so far. You've were someone I opened my heart to, till I asked you for help. You became someone else. I was sanctified. I used to feel justified. I need to be crucified by you, by you. And life has just begun. I'm standing in the shining sun. I'm not gonna run and hide, lay down and die. No, I'm not just suicide. Just don't you know might bruise my bones, my skin. You reap what you sow, the truth will show. In the end, I won't break under pressure. Couldn't give you the pleasure. I was sanctified. I used to feel justified. I need to be crucified by you, by you. My life has just begun. Standing in the shining sun. I'm not gonna run and hide, lay down and die. No, not just suicide. Are you so beautiful that you want me to be? I was sanctified. I used to feel justified. I need to be crucified by you, by you. My life has just begun. Standing in the shining sun. I'm not gonna run and hide, lay down and die. No, not just suicide. Not just suicide. They say that time.
I don't like albums personally. When I buy an album and listen to it where everything sounds the same, I get bored. I like records where every song's different, but yet they tie together. That's my idea of a great album. I try to do that as an artist. I try to make every song different and unique, but yet have a flow and continuity. You know, I'm Not Your Suicide, that album, but it's specifically that song. That's a powerful song because, you know, when I was younger, I was a skinny, runty kid who got picked on, you know, and I went to schools where a lot of people were getting jumped and beat up and by gangs and whatnot. And, you know, I miraculously made it through some days where I shouldn't have made it through, you know, and I'm thinking, wow, am I the next guy to get jumped or whatever? So that song is based partially on that and also on some more recent situations that I have gone through without getting into the details, where I felt like you know, I was being misjudged and turned against and all sorts of things going on. And that was a song that came from that period in somewhat recent years, that I wanted to inspire other people that were bullied or that were being told they couldn't do this or couldn't do that, and just beat down and beat down and beat down. That's a song to inspire people to rise above. You're not their suicide. Don't give up your dreams and your hopes and your life and your inspirations for those people because they're cruel and awful. Rise above it. Because when you do rise above it, God has so much in store for you, you know, and someday you'll see it and you'll experience it and you'll look back and go, wow, look what I have. Look what God's done for me and what He brought me out of. There's always hope, you know, suicide. And then you tie that into suicide, to real suicide. And, you know, so many people, as we've seen and experienced, just most recently, Chester, and in committing suicide, and it's just like, oh man, it's heartbreaking. It's unbelievable. And if they only had the strength to realize that there's so much in store for them, and I feel like that one song, maybe in a small little way, might encourage. If it encourages one person, then it's done its job, you know.
It's hard to blend with black and white dreams when you're searching for under, rise above, beyond what it seems, rise above, far beyond what it seems, 'cause you are strong.
I like to inspire people, and we all need inspiration, and we all struggle, some more than others and some less than others, with depression. And if it's a gloomy day out like today, you're home alone and you've had a bad day, you can get depressed. You start falling in that hole and that rut. I like to help bring people out of those situations, and like, let's go take on the world, man. That's just kind of what I feel I'm here to do. Inspiration comes in many forms. And, I've written songs in the supermarket. I've written songs based on something I've heard, not stolen it, but heard a little melody thing, and I'm like, oh wow, and I'll pick up a guitar and then write something based around that. I'm always singing. Like, I'll turn some saying like, Lisa and Lena gonna, I'll start making up words and singing a melody, and I'll sing that for a few days. And they'll be like, okay, enough of that. And then I'll come up with something else. And they're like, oh God, that's even worse, please, no. And I'll turn those into songs later. Sometimes those silly melodies wind up making their way onto an album. And then hopefully they're just not so silly. I always have some kind of a little melody first. A riff. Usually like that. Hey, that's kind of cool, man. Give me a guitar, And then I figure it out on guitar. And then it blossoms, it takes off from there. And just spreads and like wildfire. It's like, oh wow, what I've been doing a lot lately is I have a drum program called Easy Drummer, and I'll get a groove going, like a 4-bar groove that's really cool, and then I'll start writing riffs around that. So I base it lately off of a drum pattern, which I never really used to do, and now I find that, like Radio, the song Radio, I can't and I had that groove going, and then I'm just sitting there with the guitar, yeah, hey, Lisa's cooking down, and she's like, ooh, I like that, and it was based off of that drum pattern. So there's no set formula for how I write songs, but there's some funny formulas, very funny, that people might not expect to hear.
Thank you guys so much, man. It's awesome. I'm gonna end in a big way here, okay? Something you guys should most certainly remember and recall. I'm hoping. Let's give it a shot, see how it goes here. You guys gotta sing along with me, okay? Because you know the words of these, I'm certain of it.
Into my
stand up. Sing it out loud. Feels good to stand, right? Here we go. One more time. Sing it out loud. Calling on you. Calling on you. Calling on you. Now, 3, 4. This one, somebody asked me to play this at one of the acoustic shows, and I thought, man, that's a weird request. Because some songs translate acoustically and other songs really aren't meant to. And I tried it, and I thought, you know, it kind of works in a weird way. So we're gonna try it together, okay? You guys know what this one is. You ready? Speak of the devil. He's no friend of mine. To talk of him is what we gotta make. Yeah, yeah. Just the love you gotta live. The world tells us so. We like to let him know where he can go. Can you guys sing it out? To love with the devil. Yeah, man. Here we go. When things are going wrong, you know who to blame. Oh, he'll always live up to his end. He's never been the answer. That's a better way. We're here right here to say, here we go, everybody. 1, 2, 3, 2. The extended one right here. To
I wanted to do a solo album, and I was without a label as a solo artist. So I always need to get a budget where I can go and not compromise how I do things. I always want to offer the fans the best quality possible and hire the best musicians, record it the best at the best studio. I have a format and a formula, and that takes a relatively decent budget to do. So then I wound up hooking up with Rat Pack Records, Joe O'Brien. He made me an offer that would get that done. And we went in and we didn't cut any corners. We didn't compromise quality at all. And we made, I think, man, I'm hearing stories from people that it's the best solo album I've ever done in terms of the energy and the vibe and the quality. And it excites me to, I like to step things up with each album, and I feel that I've been able to do that. And I look forward to the next album. And I want to outdo One Sided War. I want people to hear the next album and go, how did he do this? How does he do this? And I want to keep improving things.
bless you guys. Thanks for coming tonight. I love you from the bottom of my heart. I'll see you next time. You guys be safe driving home. And we'll let you know when this is coming out, okay? Good night, everybody. God bless.
Every time I go away, hurts me just the same.
It's always great to see the fans. The fans are the ones that make it go round and round. You know, God's the base. God's the foundation of everything, but the fans build the house, you know, and they keep it going. They keep it functioning and operating, and you know, I wouldn't be sitting here without the fans. It's that simple. So the fact that they come year after year, show after show, and support everything that I and we do, it blows my mind. It's so incredible, and I'm a blessed man. Very blessed man. Well, the future looks amazingly bright with the next Stryper album. I want it to be our best album, and I think it can be. There's no reason why it can't be. That's just how I am. I'm believing it. I'm not going to doubt that for 1 second. And you know what? I think we have it in us. Lord willing, you know, if we're all prayed up and, you know, doing it the right way, it's going to be powerful. It's going to be our best. And I think some of our best years are yet to come. I can't believe 33 years are gone. Literally feels like 13 years, you know, maybe 15 years. It doesn't feel like 33 years, which is all the more reason why it's so important for us to take advantage of every moment we're given here on earth. You know, use it to the best that we can use it. Don't waste time. Don't sit around and watch time pass you by. Go out and grab the bull, whatever cliche you want to use. Do it. Live life to the fullest. My purpose in life is to make people want to live fuller lives. Trying not to dwell on the negative, which I do. And then I think, what am I doing? This is stupid. You know, stay focused on the positive and all the good stuff that God has for you. And man, you're just going to see it be poured out upon you. And in 10 years, 2 years, 20 years, you're going to look back and say, wow, I'm so glad that I took that path instead of that path. I want to thank each and every person watching, all of you out there. I can't thank you enough from the bottom of my heart for your support. For 33 years on the books, more years than that if you go back to the very beginning. But you guys, I'm blessed to have you and know you. And I hope you enjoy this DVD, or are so, with your popcorn and your Coke, watching me try to sing. Love you guys. God bless.
show.